Hi everyone, I am Jack Red, and this is my second attempt making the video because the first time my laptop got a little too hot for it and I had to start the whole video over, just to point that out to you. Basically my list here is going to be the top 5 best and worst video game ports I have ever seen for a video game, so this is going to be a top list. And it's probably going to be one of my best videos ever. I'm going to try to explain as much as possible. Now, the best one, you're definitely going to notice are really good ports. On the other hand, on the worst, you're going to notice they're really shitty ports. So, I'm Jack Red, this is my list. I'm going to enforce basically a rule that never been done. It's similar to what Stone Craig's rule was. There has to be one per franchise. Well, my rule is like that, but it's a really big restriction. If it appears on one list, a franchise, I cannot use it on the other list. Meaning that if, for instance, Sonic appears on this list, I can't use it on that list. No matter if that one's a really shitty one and that's a really good port. So, I know it's a really bad idea, but it fits in. The reason why you don't want to put a rule like that because it's a cluster vote. This is the last time I'm going to actually use this rule. First and last. So, let's get down to it. Number 5 are the best. Alter Beast on the Sega Genesis. I played the original arcade version thanks to the Sonic Ultimate Genesis collections, and that's a good game. But the Sega Genesis one, the one I grew up with, was a better game. Why? You got cheats. Continue code, even though that was not necessary for the arcade version. You got level select code, which also you can increase your health and lives. And you got the Beast select, which was probably the most popular code. Not the most used one, that would be the continue code, but still, they're all popular codes to the game. Now, like your usual port, you know, it's going to have some things that are not in the game that is from the arcade one. For instance, instead of the white two-headed service, it looks like, you know, wolf, you know, you got the blue ones. So, that is one restriction. Number 4 has to be Golden Axe on the Sega Genesis. Why? Okay, I played the regular arcade one. I played it with a good friend of mine who's also part of Ass Kicking Crew. And he clearly sees that this is a good game. However, the Sega Genesis one is a tougher game. You got 2 more levels, and just when you think, you know, you beat the game, you just when you get to level 6, you find out that there's 2 more levels for you. And then you fight Deathbringer, who's on Death Batter's boss, you know, the dual mode, the beginner mode. I mean, this one was flat perfect. This was probably the best Golden Axe game they had on the Sega Genesis, no questions asked, and probably the best port of the console. Sure, I could have thrown Flicky in there, but that's in the honorable mention section, which I will try to make a video on, but I can't guarantee that, like the hardest boss and the easiest boss list, because those 2 are forever. This could be another forever one, so. Number 3 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game. I'll port it to the Xbox Live Arcade. This was a good port. My only real complaint against this version is that when you get to play by yourself and you play with a friend that is offline with you, you get the choice of playing as another character and you get infinite lives. And here's the complaint. On the Xbox Live one, you got to stay with that one character and you got 20 lives. Now, I don't mind too much on the 20 lives, but the fact that you got to be that one turtle throughout the whole game is a pain in the ass, especially if it's the turtle that you're expecting to be for the first life or so, and then you're like, oh, how come I can't change? Oh, that's the other modes, dude. Oh, shit. You know. Now, what port could be better than that? Number 2, Silent Hill for the PC. This is an unofficial port. This team actually took the PlayStation game and made it in form of a PC. Let me tell you, this is good. 1 minute, please. It's croissants, I mean. You know, it's one of the best. I never expected to work so well with a computer, you know. It's actually playing the game on the actual PlayStation. It's just that incredible. My only complaint is don't hit the escape button. Sorry about that. If you hit the escape button, it could ruin the game. So if you get the game on the PC, this actual one that a lot of people have been telling you about, if you're a fan of Silent Hill, do not hit the escape button. You'll see why if you do. Now, number 1, in my opinion, this was the most awesome port I've ever seen. Duke Nukem 3D on Xbox Live Arcade. Now, originally I was planning to put Duke Nukem 64, which was on Nintendo 64, but even though that's a good game, they altered it. Nothing's better than getting a straight port to the actual one, getting achievements, and playing with other people and kicking ass and taking names. That's exactly why this one is number 1. It was just flat out Duke Nukem awesome. And the thing that bugged, there's nothing really I can say that's negative about this, rather than they could give us more screenshots of Duke Nukem Forever. We only get 2 of them in the whole game, but that's fine. That is fine. The game will be coming out soon, or maybe a couple of years from now, but who cares? You know, the game will be coming out, and it's going to hit a Guinness Book of Record for being the game longest in development. So, now let's go to the worst. I'm sure you, these 5 will make you want to vomit, pretend you're someone else, or make you even commit suicide. They're just that bad. Number 5, Primal Rage for the Super Nintendo. Why is this one so bad? Okay, like Certain Craig said, you lose some of your special moves and you cannot eat people. What makes this one suck so much more ass than all the other versions? Can you believe they actually sent you the best finishing move to where, like, you know, you would see Chaos piss on someone and, you know, that would be the end of the story. But in this one, you see them just like, and the censor symbol come up, you're like, what the hell, man? They just ruined the game. Exactly why it's number 5. That totally did ruin the game. Just knowing that's the end of the game. Number 4 is Mortal Kombat Advance on the GBA. Why is this so bad? Mortal Kombat 3 wasn't really my favorite. It was my least favorite out of the 3 original 2D Mortal Kombat games. But being on the GBA with horrible controls, with very frustrating gameplay, plus the fact you gotta go through 3 Coliseums to unlock Smoke, Wataru, and Shao Kahn, that's a pain in the ass. So, I do not advise you to actually get this game. In fact, I am telling you to avoid it. It is just that bad. Just avoid it. It's the worst part of the series, and let me tell you, don't even try it. Number 3 is legendary to be Suckfest. Originally, I was gonna have a Ghostbusters NES game to be on here, but then I looked in my resources, and then I actually found out that Ghostbusters on Atari 2600 was a port, so I decided to change gears to my original plan, rather than going to the NES one as my backup one. So, if you even ask my friend Big C, who also has a YouTube account, he would tell you that this game is just flat horrible. You can't not leave the shop whatsoever. Even the Angry Video Game Nerd showed you that. It's just, why do you even have a shop if you can't even leave it? I mean, that's just like saying, oh, we're going to spend the rest of the game in the shop, and we're going to try to play the game without the shop. But the sad truth is you cannot play it without the shop. Makes the game completely unplayable. And anyone who can play the Atari 2600 version somehow and show off the whole game, I would like to see it try it. Number 2 is Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis for the GBA. Why is this so bad? It just has everything else wrong with it. It's a direct port of a classic Sega Genesis game. Probably one of the first amazingly good Sega Genesis games, and they just basically screwed the whole effing thing up. Yeah, they did. It's so bad that it's given a 2.5 on GameSpot and probably even lower by some critics. So just think, this is probably the most hated Sonic game to date. Even more than the 360 title of Sonic the Hedgehog. Not the Xbox Live one. No, I'm talking about the regular one. The one that no Sonic fan cares about whatsoever. Okay, maybe some, but that's still. What is the single worst port? Now, I've been thinking hard on this, and I decided to go with the single best, the single worst for this matter. One so bad that it almost ended gaming. This was one of the 2 founding games to be responsible for the video game crash in 1983, Pac-Man for the Atari 2600. This is just flat shitty. There's nothing I can say about this rather than it's just complete garbage. It is just complete garbage. Oh, by the way, I saw the new top 10 video, and that's a good video too. Good job starting, Craig. So I'll see y'all later and hope you enjoyed the video.